Hi, good morning. I wanted to speak about a couple of things this morning. Somebody asked me, never guess who, if I would speak about anxiety. And I don't think that anxiety is any one person's problem. I think that anybody, when they're not vertically plugged in to the inspiration that is God and comes from God, that there's anxiety. So everybody has anxiety. And anxiety, think of the sign of the cross, is when we're all plugged in to the horizontal plane and we think about ourselves largely. Me, 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 me. And another thing that happens that brings anxiety big time is jealousy. And not being able to really wish other people happy and giving ourselves away. And we're not intended by Jesus to just love or extend ourselves to a certain few. It's when we wake up in the morning and put our feet on the floor, are we connected? Do we say a prayer? Do we meditate? Do we read a book? Do we read a passage? What is it that we do to remind ourselves to pause and stop and be still? It can be a minute. Jesus teaches us in A Course in Miracles it could be a moment. If you want to, if you're comfortable and it makes you feel peaceful and you have the time, take an hour to relax, be quiet, be inspired, plug in. But then bring your peace, bring your gifts, bring the kingdom to the world and extend it to other people. Now, there's something, and I know about anxiety and depression because I had it horrifically. I lost 3 years of my life when I was in my early 20s to just agoraphobia, which is just about as bad a bout of anxiety as you can get, and scary, scary, scary depression. And I got out of it. I was on medication, but I was only on medication for a short time and got myself out of it. And when Jesus was crucified, there was 3 days until the resurrection. And this is an important message because we get ourselves into an anxiety-ridden, depressed state of affairs through our thinking, through our thought processes. So we don't want to give up when we start going, hey, it's enough call. Or maybe I'll just extend myself and get out of me, get out of being concerned about me. And be patient because it takes a little while, just like the 3 days of time between Jesus being crucified and Jesus resurrecting. Be patient. Now, there's something that came up yesterday that was very interesting. I found a passage in Special Messages from A Course in Miracles, and Jesus talks about how we are so afraid of love and that we don't want to look at our own self-hatred, our own hatred and judgment towards others, because once we're willing to really see it and look it right in the eye, it makes it dissolve and disappear. So we want to pretend we don't have judgments, and we want to pretend that the limited way that we give ourselves away is enough. But you can tell when we're not really stepping up and extending the kingdom because we have anxiety and we have depression. And if we really are determined to be still and really observe, are we clenching and holding ourselves in and tightening, or are we allowing ourselves to loosen up and open the door to our minds and our hearts and let people in? So it's the only way, and it can't just be special people. And you know what's interesting is I watched the interview with Steve Tyler, and he said he has learned that the most important thing in life, the most important thing is forgiveness. And forgiveness just means seeing what is meaningless as meaningless. And it's a pretty simple barometer. If it's not from God, if it's not of love, it's meaningless. And yes, that's a really high bar, but God has faith in us to reach that bar.